This is skills homework 9. Bar charts and histograms. And this, we'll do the bar charts first. So bar charts are when our data here in the independent variable is not in any particular order. These are going to be separate to each other. These are qualitative or discrete, distinct from each other. So for example down here we've got different types of invertebrates. And which order would you put them in? Well, you can't. So you just have to have a separate bars for them. Here's some paper for our chart, and we need to somehow make a scale for this that covers at least half the paper. And probably where we'll start is with this. How many categories have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 categories. How many squares do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could make this nice by having starting it perhaps there for our origin, and then having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars going across. That'd be nice. And going up the side, we've got numbers. Where's our highest number? Our highest number is 256. 256. So if we went up in tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, we're going to run out. Okay. If we went up in 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60. Okay, 260. So we can actually fit that data on. Or we could possibly use 50s, but I'm going to use 20s since it'll fit on. I've lost my ruler. Here we go. So let's draw this. X-axis. You would draw this in pencil. You would use pencil. If you use pencil, then you can rub it out when you make a mistake. Okay? I'm going to use pen just to make it more clear, make it stand out on the video. You would use pencil for all of your axes, your points, your lines, your bars, your titles, your units, the whole thing in pencil. And if I make a mistake, I'm going to have to apologise and eat my words and so on. And it will demonstrate why you're not using pen. So let's put on our title for this x-axis, which is colour of filter. So, colour of filter. That's commonly left off. Just the actual colours put on. And then we've got our different colours. So we've got violet, blue, blue-green, green, yellow, orange, red, and far red. Violet, blue, blue-green, green, yellow, orange, red, and far red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Far red. So just double check I've got the right number on there. Okay. That's our x-axis sorted out. Our y-axis, our highest number was 256, and we decided if we went up in 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, that would fit on to our 20. So let's do that. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240, 260. So we're using more than half of our scale, in fact we're using nearly all of it. And the title here, time for release of 20 bubbles in seconds. So that is time for release of 20 bubbles, and that's in seconds. So these titles I've just put onto the axes. I've just copied them. I can't get them wrong then. I haven't abbreviated anything or changed anything. The only thing to note, sometimes you're actually plotting a mean from a table and you'd have to write mean, so just check, but there's no mean here, it's just the raw data. So let's get going drawing our bars. So violet is 58. So each one of these is 2, so each little square is 2, so it's a reasonably easy scale to use. So it's 50, 2, 4, 6, 8, and our top of our bar there would go across 58, and my bar would go down. So try and keep exactly onto the lines. 40, nice, easy to plot. And you'll notice that my titles for the bars are directly in the middle of the bars. 62. So it sometimes helps if you draw a little dot on where you're going to draw the bars. Makes it easier to plot. And in exams, if you draw a graph, there will be marks for accurate plotting of points and bars and so on. 132. So that's 100, 120, 132. Have some music on really. Keep you amused whilst I'm drawing these. 96 for yellow. So that's 80, 90, 2, 4, 6. Orange red is 70. So these are really easy to plot because I've just gone up in 20s. And the last one is 256. So 240, 250, 2, 4, 6. And again, trying to keep the line exactly on where it should be, and across the top there. Okay, so we have got okay-ish looking bar chart, and sometimes you go to all that effort and there's a little question at the end and you forget to do it. But we're not going to do that today. We could put a title on here. We could put a title on. The title would be, time taken for the release of 20 bubbles of oxygen from the cut end of a stem of Eladia in different coloured filters. You could put a title on there, but there's usually no marks for that. Which colour filter would be best to maximise photosynthesis? This is a little bit of a trick question, because you might immediately go for, oh look, that's the biggest bar, but it's the time for it for 20 bubbles to be released. So 20 bubbles got released in only a short amount of time for blue, whereas it took a long time to release 20 bubbles. So actually the fastest is going to be in blue, in the blue filter. So best filter, you'd normally there'd normally be a space on the exam to write this, but if I put it on there, best filter to maximise this blue. I made a mess of my bar chart now. Okay, our second bar chart, well, let's just double check we've got everything here. Always best to double check things before moving on. And my X, I've got all the bars on, I've got the titles, I've got any units. Have I got a figure at the origin? Oops! No figure at the origin there, so I'll put that on 0. Good job, I checked. Have I got the scales right? Have I got the plotting of the points right? So it looks alright now. I would have lost a mark there unless I had have checked it. So moral of the story there, always check your work. Here's another piece of graph paper, and we've got invertebrates. And this is a bit different this time because we've got our x-axis titles there, and we've got two bars to plot for each one. So 2 bars to plot for each one. And what else do we need to do? That's fine. So again, how many things do we need to, how many invertebrates do we need to put on this graph? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a total 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can use that. That's a nice space there, and each one is going to have divided into half for the chalk grassland and the heathland. And our biggest number is 304 if we're going to plot that. So our total will be 304. So could we use 20s? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80. Ooh, it's not gonna work that. So we could go up in 50s this time possibly. So if I put my axis on there, and we have got, what's the title across the bottom? Type of invertebrate. So this is type of invertebrate, and we have got mollusks, woodlice, millipedes, centipedes, beetles, and harvestmen. It's not really clear as to whether it wanted the total, but it says construct a bar chart for these data, so I better put the total on as well. So total, and then I'm going to have a bar each for the 2 environments, the chalk grassland and the heathland. Up the side I'm going to have a scale, and it's going to be 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and that will cover us there. Again, I'm trying to get this line bang on the line if I can. Just a reminder, you draw this in pencil. Pencil for the axes, pencil for the labels, pencil for the axis titles, pencil for the units, pencil for the points, pencil for the bars, everything in pencil so you can rub it out when you make a mistake. If I make a mistake today, I'm snookered, I'm stuck, and I'm just going to have to cross it out. And what's our axis of the side? This is invertebrates are trapped and counted in a 1 meter squared area, so it's number of invertebrates per meter squared. So this is number of invertebrates number of invertebrates, and the units are, so number per meter squared, m-2, so number of invertebrates, and I'm just going to divide that with a slash there. And I'm going to remember to put a figure at the origin this time. And then we've got 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. And our biggest number is 304, so that'll cope with that. And now we just need to plot this data. So we have got each, if I put 10, 20, 30, 40 on here, just 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 40. So it might help to put these on. $110, $120, $130, $140. So this would be a brilliant graph if we didn't have the total on. So one without the total would be a nice graph. But these bars are going to be slightly squashed because we've got to fit that big total on. Anyway, here goes. Mollusks on a chalk, grassland 117. So I'm going to use the first bar there, so 110, so that's going to be 17, so that would be 115, that means 17, so there. And generally when examiners are marking graphs, as long as it's within, within kind of one small square of accuracy, then that's a sort of tolerance, but we want to do better than that here. So that's our molar and the chalk, and then to the right of it I'm going to do the heathland 0, so that would be a bar just going across there. Woodlice 98 and 4, so 98. So 98 and then 4, which is going to be 2 squares is going to be 5, so it's just under that. Okay. And which bar is going to be which? Well, we need some sort of key. So I'm going to draw a key up here, and a nice big key just to let the good people know what's going to be what. So where you put a key doesn't really matter, but you need to sort of figure out where it's not going to interfere with your data. So I'm going to write key here, and I'm going to have clear, so no shading for our first chalk grassland. Again, I'm just going to write exactly how it is. And then for our heathland, I'm going to have cross shading like that, or you could do it in a colour possibly. So that's going to be my heathland. So chalk grassland, clear, didn't have a bar, clear, and then here's my shaded area there. And I'm just going to carry on now. Millipedes 32 and 3. So 32. Three. It's just going to be about there, a bit fiddly this. Again, maybe I should have drawn this without the total on. Getting sloppy with my shading as well now. Centipedes, 17 and 18. So 17, so that's 15, 17 now, they're just under there. And 18 will be just above it. But you can still see a slight difference. Which one's my hatched one? Beetles 30 and 68. So 30 and 60. There we are. So graphs can be time consuming. The more you do, the better you get, and the quicker you can draw them, and also hopefully draw them accurately. All the way you're checking your axes at the bottom that the right invertebrates are under the right bars, and again you're checking you're doing the hatching on the right bar. Harvestman 10 and 12. So there's my 10 and my 12 will be just under there. And then my total 304, which is right at the other end. So 304 and 105. I'll get that one on. Again, practice makes perfect, drawing these lines so they're still on the graph paper line. And 105, 100, 100, halfway between that 110, there we are. And the last line down. And let's not forget our hatching. Forgot to put the hatching on the harvestman. Ooh, hatching is you can say there's not going to be any marks really for tidiness of hatching, as long as you can see the bars and it's clear which ones are which. So there is our final graph, including all of the data. Let's just double check. For every graph I'm going to go, is my axes labels on? Yes. Are my units on? This one doesn't have a unit, that one has a unit there. It's separated from the title with a slash. Have I used at least half the graph paper? Yes. Both ways, yes. This my biggest bar's right up there. Have I got a figure at the origin if it's needed? This is a numerical scale, so I've got a figure at the origin. Is my scale linear? This one goes up in tens all the way up there, and it's the same. I don't change the scale halfway around. I've got two different types of bars for the two different areas. So have I put a key on to separate the bars? And have I plotted the points accurately? Well, near enough on this occasion. And that's another bar chart. Next video will be the histogram. Yes.